one. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Codex Station's Comic Character of the Week. We take one character, give you the deep dive, all the must-read stories, the top covers, badass moments, and so much more. I'm your host tonight, Silent Live Guy. Join with me is Dan the Man Kelly, and down below is the Ric Flair Comics.
Woo!
How you guys doing?
Doing good. I couldn't find my Agatha Harkness action figure, so I don't have an action figure to support that character.
She's off flying on her broomstick somewhere.
Well, you know what? I should have got a couple witching hour covers and put them in there and said that was it.
All right. So you want to do some intros now? You want to do some intros now? Or you want to save them for the main show? Let's save them for the main show.
Okay.
Since it's just the three of us tonight, Jamie's not going to be joining us tonight. So we'll save it for the main show.
Well, let's not do them at the beginning then.
You want to do them at the end?
Well, I mean, I kind of agree with the whole premise of why we switched to doing them on the pre-show, because it's like 10 minutes of stuff that we say every week before we get into the activities.
Let's do it on the pre then. Let's get rid of it.
Let's do it on the pre-show. All right. Let's start with you, Dan. Dan the Man Kelly. Where can they find you?
You could find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. Post a few times a week. I just got stickers.
Yes.
That I will have available at Baltimore Comic-Con, as well as probably post these tomorrow, these prints that I got. So I got 100 stickers and 50 prints that the stickers I'll be giving away, the prints I'll be selling. The consensus is that I should sell them for $10 each. So I'll have them at Baltimore Comic-Con for that. And also have original art and stuff. And we will
Kelly Art right here. Dan Kelly Art.
Look at that. One of a kind CGC.
Mm-hmm. He's a CGC artist.
Yeah, even though they're being a pain in the ass right now with this other submission. But
oh, I know.
and we will me and the Codex Station will be at in Artist Alley at Baltimore Comic-Con at table J27.
J27.
Right near the end, right by the concessions and the celebrity area.
Nice.
So come check us out. We'll have my stuff. We'll have all kinds of Codex giveaways too. We're gonna have a raffle for a book that will give away to a new subscriber. So come check it out.
Hello, absolutely.
Son of 10 Bears.
Hello, Son of 10 Bears. Welcome to the pre-show.
Son of. All right.
There's Eternal. How you doing, buddy?
There we go. Hey, Adam.
What's up?
Very good.
All right, Dan, who you got below you then?
Oh, well, we got the curator of the Library of Comics, who is 60,000 plus books strong, and in 1 week we'll be adding some notable keys to that. Notable keys to that collection. Gotta put this up there too. Welcome back, Lithograph. I haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Lithograph. Nice.
Hey, Litho.
Nice to see you.
But yeah, in just over a week's time, you will start adding to the Library of Comics. That is the Ric Flair of comics.
Woo!
Uncle Gary.
Thank you for that.
What's up, Bougie?
Comic Logic, Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. Please come and see us. You catch me there every Wednesday morning, getting my weekly fill, getting that 4-color ink in the bloodstream, make me strong, powerful, so I can lift all them long boxes, baby. Comic books make you strong. Pick up some comic books. Do some push-ups too. Let's come see Comic Logic. We got some events coming up. The big one is we will be at Baltimore in booth 501. This will be the third year in a row where we're at that booth. So come see us there. We'll be there, next weekend, September 20, 21, 22. And then our next, we also have a event in Ashburn at the Coffee Shop Blend. We will have a book fair there, and we'll have some cool trades and graphic novels for people to pick up at the Blend Coffee Shop. That's on September 28th. And then our big fall event is LotCon on October 27th, where our parking lot turns into a mini Comic Con. These fellas up here have been there with their families. It'll be trunk or treat. Have your kids come, have them dress up. There'll be candy at the booths to give to them. So it'll be a nice pre-Halloween little gathering where we'll have about 35 vendors, I think, together. Comics, toys, all kinds of local artists and local authors. So it's a blast. Please come see us. We would love to see you then. Also, we want to give love to the comic character of the week. The comic character of the day website, which is where we all got acquainted. I do a cover of the day. Dan does a great random panel of the day, and he does a question of the day. Sal's always commenting on all of our other posts to make sure that we're giving you the content that you deserve. So enough about us. It's getting a spooky season. So the guy that started out in the spookiest place on earth, the city morgue, Sal, the slab guy. He didn't get his nickname from those things behind him. He got his nickname from pulling out those drawers in the morgue and pulling them cadavers out and dropping toe tags on them. And he decided there's something about Sal, the slab guy, that sounds good, and he was going to make it a lifestyle and not just a vocation. So that's what he's done. You see what's behind him. The one, the only Sal, the slab guy.
Well, thank you, Gary, for that wonderful introduction. Yes, you can always find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner. But right now, before Baltimore, you'll find me actually on a corner begging for money to get more slabs at Baltimore. But yeah, like Dan said, you can also check us out at Baltimore. We'll be at that J27, you said? I didn't know the number.
J27. Bingo.
J27.
Bingo.
Check us out there. We got some merch and swag and all that for you. But find me on Sal's Comic Corner on YouTube and Instagram as SlabGuy77. Dan, why don't you tell us about the CodexStation.com?
Well, you can check us out online at thecodexstation.com, the website built by our very own Uncle Gary.
That's right.
And
Mr. IT.
Maintained by him. You have links to all of our socials on there. There's profiles on all the team members. There's merch you can get. It's just it's a really cool site. So go check it out and make sure to go give us some likes and some follows and some on all of our different socials.
Yes, Gary, we got those socials. So what do we want to do?
Oh man, all these socials that we have, we'd like nothing better than to give them to you, baby.
Yes, that's right. So if you just do at the Codex Station on any social platform, you'll find the Codex Station. Do it. Click the like, click the share, click the
As
subscribe.
Dan would say, do it now in a funny
do
voice.
it now.
In Arnold's
Do
voice.
it now.
Do it now.
Yeah, do it now. What are you waiting
There you
for?
go.
There we are.
There we go.
There we
Now
go.
it's a party.
Yep.
Now it's a party.
All right, so I want to say, everyone check in the chat. Hello, Pam and Mr. Keith and Bougie and Adam. And did I miss anyone? We already said hello to the lithograph. Happy to have you all guys with us. Hope you enjoy the episode tonight.
And Son-O something.
Yes. And Mr. Keith. Yep.
Yep.
Yes, there will be one this Saturday.
Yep.
But next week, we're not doing Character of the Week. We're not doing the Saturday night show. I think
we're not doing podcasts.
Yeah.
We're doing. We may do a Friday check-in show or something from Baltimore, but we're
playing that one by ear.
We'll
definitely be doing something not next Monday, but the following Monday,
the 23rd.
Yeah, it will be Codex and Codex live from Comic Logic.
We're crossing the streams, baby. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh my gosh!
What could possibly go wrong?
Tune in to find out, ladies and gentlemen.
At least we're not doing it tomorrow on Friday the 13th.
Yep.
All right. Are you gonna have a table at Baltimore, Adam?
Yeah, he's going back. That's what I heard. Adam's going back. Always a good show. But that's why I'm always here. Well, Bougie, we love you being here for us. We wouldn't know what to do if we had a show and you weren't here to ride this train with us.
Yep. One more thing I want to do a quick shout out is from the Heroes for Heroes fundraiser for vets and mental wellness for our veterans. I'm going to throw a link in the chat. This is called Mission 22. This is brought to you by Bronze Age Nerd over from Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, give Bronze Age Nerd a like and a follow. He has all the information about this, but this is a great site that does a lot of fundraisers for our vets. So please check that out.
Yep, I sent some donation stuff off to him last week.
So did I. I sent off 2 slabs to him.
Very nice.
I sent off a slab, a couple X-Men comics. I sent the first appearance of Forge and the first Firestar in the regular Marvel Universe. I sent that Captain America sketch cover I did, and nice. I sent him a complete run of Camelot 3000.
Oh, very good. Somebody's going to get a good read.
Yeah, that is some awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. All right, guys. Well, that's our pre-show. Do you want to go ahead and just dive into this character?
It's not so much a deep dive as a shallow wade, but let's do it.
Let's
well,
do
you know,
it.
they
All
say
right.
you can drown in you only need 6 inches of water to drown.
Yes, that is very true. That is very true.
That's true.
Let's drown.
All right, folks. Yeah, we'll see you in about 45 seconds.
Wow, that was spooky. That was spooky. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I
That's
appreciate that.
the best groovy. It's spooky season with that. Nice.
Kicking it off early. Folks, welcome to the Codex Station's Comic Character of the Week, where we take one character and give you the deep dive. Of course, this will be a shallow walk. Deep dive into one character, the must-read stories, the badass moments, top covers, and so much more. I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy. Join with me is Dan the Man Kelly of Instagram. Down below, right there, is the Ric Flair of comics.
Woo!
He is the curator of comics, Uncle Gary. How you guys doing?
Doing good. This character, we will do our very best. This is an interesting character, though there's not a deep well of information here or subject matter, but there are some quality gems that we have unearthed for your comic listening pleasure tonight.
Totally agree. So Dan, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with the intro?
All right. Well, hold on. That's good to know. Lithograph.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
There we go. Awesome.
Well, we better do a good. We better do a good show. We have extra special company watching.
That's
all
right.
So she was introduced in Fantastic Four number 94 in, appropriately enough, October of 1969, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Agatha was one of the original witches from the Salem witch trials, and she has used magic to keep herself alive throughout the years. She went on to found the town of New Salem in Colorado, which was a colony of witches that she was the leader of for a long time, until she decided she wanted to venture back out into man's world. She was introduced in Fantastic Four as a governess for Franklin Richard, and then revealed herself to the Fantastic Four that she was a witch. And later she trained the Scarlet Witch, which is probably who she is most associated with, even before the TV show. As far as her powers, she's one of the most powerful magic universe in the Marvel Universe. She can manipulate magical forces. She can cast spell incantations for things like pyrokinesis, levitation, tapping into extra dimensional energy. She has also displayed powerful telepathic abilities, which I'm sure we will get into that a bit later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Very good. So, first up is how does this character work best for us? And I'll go first on this one. When I read of her, uh, I did a lot of the reading last week for this, and what I read, she really, I think she really is in her wheelhouse when she is mentoring younger spellcasters, and also being the protector of Franklin Richards at that time. I really like that protectiveness that she had for him. I also like her as a teacher, and then I also liked how she also started training like the Scarlet Witch. And when I read the Scarlet Witch was like completely oblivious to like magical powers and how things worked, and she just kind of brought her under the wing and said, "This is how you're going to do these things." And when she was actually killed, and she was in like hell, she was actually still able to come back and like still like cast spells, help people out from there. So she didn't come back from the dead right away. It's not like one of those where you killed off and come back in 3 months. No. She was dead for a while, but still coming back from beyond the grave to help out. So that's what I like best. How about you, Dan? What you got?
Yeah, I like when she's being a. I don't think hero is the correct word.
Yeah.
Maybe a helper. That seems like a little too light of a word. But when she's being, the mysterious kind of, helper there, where she's not going to be out on the front lines fighting villains and stuff, but whoever her ward is, whether she's safeguarding Franklin Richards or when she was watching over Wanda's and Vision's kids, or when she was, helping train Wanda. Just that she, works best when she has someone that she's protecting, but she's not always completely forthright with everything. She still has that little bit of mystery, mystery to her, but that's how I like her best. I think she'd be good at, and I don't think they've used her in Strange Academy, but I feel like she would be best used in something like that as a teacher, because she is one of the most powerful magicians in Marvel, but she's not a superhero, so it would I think she would be good used in that capacity.
Have her and Doctor Strange ever crossed paths?
Oh, not really cross paths, but she was in Strange Academy because I have it one of my must-read stories.
Okay.
Oh,
and she was used only in a capacity as a teacher, that to the younger students.
She has crossed paths with Strange here and there, but not like from what I've read, nothing.
No big team up.
No major team up. No, nothing like that. But they are aware of who each other are. Their paths have crossed before.
Nice.
All right, Gary, how about you?
Same thing. Mentor, for other witches, and again, like you said, it was really cool. Wanda was never really a sorceress; she was just using her mutant probability powers, and for Agatha to teach her how to be a true witch, a true practicer of the arts, I think is pretty cool. And I like Agatha when she does have her own. She keeps her own council. Her and Ebony, right? Her cat.
Yep.
Her familiar. So that I love her as an old gal, as an old lady, and still strong, still formidable, and wise. It's hard to say she's wise beyond her years because she's old. So
very true.
Yep, I like that. And unruffled. She doesn't. Yeah. She's not flustered by anything. So
I
like that. So that's how I like her. An old broad that's been there, seen that, done that.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say when she was first portrayed, she was already old then. So.
Yep.
All right. So going into badass moments, Gary, you want to kick us off with badass moments?
Sure.
What you got?
All right. So for badass moments for her, one is a general one, and you touched on it earlier. She was dead. She was killed, burned
at the stake.
And she was in hell. still doing her thing. Still, that didn't stop her. So I just think that generally it's pretty badass. She's been burned at the stake as a witch. She's in hell, still doing her thing. So I think that is pretty badass. Dead beyond the grave in hell, and you're still getting it done. So there you go. Hats off to you. So for a more let's see. There we go. Get the right page.
Yeah.
In her first appearance, or not her, yeah, in her first appearance in FF94, Agatha, as Franklin's governess, the Frightful Four decide that let's kidnap Franklin. That'd be the thing to do. They incapacitate the entire Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And then, all they have is an old lady and her cat left.
Yeah.
Old lady and her cat give her a beat down without breaking a sweat. So,
Yep. She's like,
we're
not having this.
Yeah, we're not having that. Gave her a beat down like it was nothing. Yeah, they thought they saw a putty tat, but they found out it wasn't a putty tat. So they got whooped. They were hoping they were reminiscing about the good old days when the FF used to just beat the hell out of them. That old lady smoked them. And then the best thing in the end was where Ben Grimm wasn't quite sure how that happened. She's like, maybe I'm a witch. and she's messing with Ben's mind. So the Frightful Four were the Frightened Four. So that was great. And that's in her debut. There's a two-parter, and we'll probably talk more about this later, but in FF 186, Agatha, there's a conflict with her son, Nicholas Scratch, who was a very powerful, warlock in his own right, leading a group that was up to no good. And Agatha, when he's getting his comeuppance, he's been hit with a spell of eternal banishment. And he begs his mother for help there at the end. And she says she can't help him. She goes, all I can do is mourn you.
Oh, wasn't that the Fantastic Four Annual 14?
Yep.
I thought it was 186, but
was it 186? Okay, yeah.
I thought it was 186 because the annual was Franklin's power manifesting, I think, in that. So...
Yeah.
But possibly I'm wrong. But I thought it was in 186.
14 was the one where 185 to 187 was when they, was the first Nicholas Scratch in the Salem 7, and that's when they fought him the first time. The Annual 14 was when he came back and she had to fight him again, and that's when she erased everyone in the world's memories about what had happened, and I think that's the one where he got banished. Okay,
well I had reread the 185 and 186. But didn't reread the annual, so I didn't read the annual to get that from it. So that's why I thought maybe it was in the 186. So, but possibly it was in the annual. Either way, wherever it was, her son was banished, and she wouldn't help him, and she said, "I'll mourn you. See ya."
Yep.
So that's it for me.
Okay. I got a little bit more to add to that, but go ahead, Dan. I'll go last.
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and answer.
All right. So I'll start off with that. When she had to mourn her son, she actually strips him of his magical powers, to begin with. So not only did she have to mourn him, she's like, gonna let him go. She strips him of all his powers, which that's pretty hateful, to do.
When your mom does that to you, that sucks.
That's like being grounded for like a couple of months, man. Couple centuries. So she when she was actually burned at the stake, she has some good lines in there. She's like, "Yes, I'll burn. You bound me in the old ways, even I, such as I, cannot escape your vengeance. But vengeance shall be mine as well. I curse you from the grave and all of New Salem. I give you birth and I'll give you death, and then the wheel will turn again. So swears Agatha Harkness." That's as she's burning. She's saying this. So that was pretty wicked. Right
As she was burning, she was in fuego.
Yep, she was. So the other thing I have for a badass moment was in Fantastic Four 150, she
Yep.
unlocks Franklin's powers, untapped powers to defeat Ultron 7 in a battle that had knocked out the Fantastic Four as well, and so she just steps in, taps his powers, and then has him take out Ultron 7. That's pretty badass.
I think the Avengers were wiped out in that too, weren't they?
Yeah, I think the Avengers were wiped out in that one as well, if I remember right.
Yep.
You're right. You're right. So she also, my last badass moment is she's the one that cast the spell on Wanda to make him forget her children. She's the one that had.
Yeah.
She's the one that had to do that. So it sets up a very tragic storyline because then Wanda finds out that she did this in a Avengers Disassembled, I believe. I forget which one it was, but still,
and darker than Scarlet.
Yeah, darker than Scarlet. That's right. That's right. So to cast that spell on Wanda to make her forget her own children, harsh. That is pretty badass right there. All right, so that's my 3. Go ahead, Dan. What you got?
Well, yeah, the Fantastic Four 185 to 187, and the Fantastic Four Annual 14. We all just kind of covered those already. Like I said, I really liked in the Annual 14 where she erased the mind of everyone on Earth so they wouldn't remember what her son Nicholas Scratch had done. That's pretty powerful. And the last one I have kind of is what Sal touched on, Avengers West Coast 50 to 52. That's when she came back and she had been burned at the stake in the Vision and Scarlet Witch series, and she shows back up and Wanda says, "You died, you burned at the stake," and she basically says, "I came back, but
I'm back."
But didn't elaborate on it, and I would have brought coming back from being burned at the stake as a badass moment, but Marvel has never shown how she came back, what happened with that. She was just there. So I couldn't really include that. But in this one, she just yeah, I'm back. And, she's watching the kids and, because there's been issues with them disappearing. And that's when she figures out that they're not real, that, Wanda has created them through her powers, which, dates back to when she got pregnant in Vision Scarlet Witch, how after she beat, the Salem 7 and she absorbed all this power that she had used it to create this pregnancy with these 2 children, and Agatha tells her that's why whenever you're not directly thinking about them, they disappear. She's like, what kind of mother am I if I'm not always thinking my kids? She's like, no, sometimes you don't. If you're in the midst of a battle or something, or you're sleeping, something going on, you're not thinking about them, they disappear because they're not real. And there's this whole convoluted thing that I'm not even going to get into with their kids, with Fisto and with these other characters, but
he's still alive.
She then erases Wanda's memory about having children, and then eventually puts the memory back, and then erases it again, and then she finds out about it again. So,
and then all the Avengers get killed.
Yeah,
then Avengers Mansion gets obliterated.
But then they all come, but it's comics, so they eventually all come back and they rebuild the mansion.
And she says no more mutants. She does a lot of wackadoodle shit.
And then all
she
the
goes off the
come
deep end
back.
a little bit.
And then all the mutants come back and get their own island.
Yeah.
Dogs and cats together. Mass hysteria. So no. There's Sonny the writer. What's up, Sonny? He says, why is Agatha so hot in the comics?
Because they made her not an old lady anymore.
They burned her at the stake. That's why she's so hot.
Oh, well, there you go. That's what he said.
I mean, I guess if you're into the Depends crowd.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our critiques and criticisms and what we don't like about the character. I'll go first on this one. I don't really have a problem with her character at all. I think they've underutilized her for a lot of things. I think they could have expanded her role a lot more. Maybe the supernatural things didn't take too much and couldn't warrant or hold a series on her own so much. But I think it probably could work now. I mean, you had Midnight Suns that ran for a little bit as well. I mean, that's all supernatural as well. So I don't know. I don't think they're using her enough or are not utilizing her the right way. I don't like the fact that she's young again. I like to keep her as the old lady with the cat. Adds to the mystery of the witches. You might say. So that's what I don't like. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, same thing. I don't really care about her being young in the comics. I haven't readily. The only thing I've read in the comics with her being young is when she was part of the Daughters of Liberty and the not the current the Captain America series from 2 volumes ago. It's hard to keep track of because they restart these all the time. To me, it didn't really stand out because the entire run was extremely forgettable. Including her part in it. But yeah, I don't need to see young Agatha. I don't really like how they changed, and I don't know if they made her young after WandaVision or before it. I didn't really
I looked it up. I don't know.
Honestly, I didn't really care enough to look up which came first. But I like the original iteration of her. I don't need to see her young and hot. Not everyone has to be young and hot. One of the cool things about her was that she was this old woman, and it looked like she wasn't intimidating at all. And then all of a sudden, she unleashes this massive amount of power on you. And I don't like how they changed her character to in the MCU. I know everyone loves Catherine Hahn and WandaVision, and the show was great, but she's almost Agatha Harkness in name only. Her name's Agatha Harkness, and she's a witch. And she was I think burned at the stake in the show, way in the past. And that's it. She's a villain in the show where she is not villainous at all in the comic. She's so I don't like when they take these characters and they make these drastic changes to them when adapting them. I know that you can't do exact adaptations, but to completely change the nature of a character, just, it's just dumb to me. And honestly, the only reason people can admit it, whether they want or not, the only reason that she was popular in that show is because she had that catchy theme song in episode 7 that went viral. That was it. If it wasn't for the theme song, then there'd be no Agatha all along show or any of that.
I actually liked the WandaVision show.
Oh, I love the show.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if it wasn't for that little theme song they had in that episode,
probably.
Then
Wait, I'm sorry.
I agree with Pam.
Really falters this. Yeah.
Agree.
Absolutely, 100%. All right, Gary, what don't you like about her?
Listen, as much as I can appreciate a young, good-looking gal, it shouldn't be Agatha. Agatha's older. She's been there. She's done that. Like I say, her age befits her, and she is a wizened old head who you do not want to mess with because she will turn your reality into a nightmare. And that's how I love her. So to have her young again and all this, I mean, I don't know which came first either. My suspicion is because of the show is why they de-aged her. And I agree with Dan, that catchy theme song. And I'm also going to say Catherine Hahn is quite charismatic too. I think she has something to do with the success of Agatha too, or the fact that people may want to see her. I think she's a pretty impressive talent with a lot of personality. So I think that helped that whole bit too, to go forward with her. But
she's a great actress.
Yep, she's fantastic. Great comedic.
She was great in Step Brothers.
Yes, she's great in that. Yeah. She's also in a show called I Love Dick, which was pretty funny. So and she was naked, so that's always good. So, but I just young Agatha. No, I need my wizened old witch and old Agatha, and that's it. So the criticism is no young Agatha.
Yeah, with the purple dress and the kind of shawl and the black cat.
And the cat, and will whoop your ass if you look at her wrong.
Yeah.
So The graphic that I used for the intro, actually Dan found that, sent that to me,
Nice.
and I was like, I was kind of struggling with that until I found that, or until Dan said that, and I was like, ooh yeah. So I was able to add the rest of that.
Look, you run into Agatha like in that graphic, and she raises an eyebrow. That'll make you piss your pants.
Yep. You better be apologizing quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly. All right. Well, we can go ahead and jump to our must-read stories or top covers. Top covers are next. So.
Oh man, I just realized I messed up. I gave my essential reading for the badass moments.
Whoops. That's all right.
Oh.
What do you want to read? Do you have more badass moments then, or what? What did you have?
Oh yeah, I said the badass moments for my badass moments was Fantastic Four 223 when she saved Franklin and took away her son's powers, Nicholas Scratch. And then it was Annual 14, and then Vision and Scarlet Witch 5 when she beat. She was already dead, but she beat Sam Hain on Halloween. I mean that's his day, and still managed to beat him and had it planned that way. Apparently knew that it was going to happen. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
very good.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump to top covers. Yep, that was a cool graphic. Well, it was all Dan. I just kind of pulled it together. So
good job.
Thank
I
you,
just
Dan.
found the picture. Sal made the magic.
All right, since Jamie is not here, yeah,
he's a warlock.
Just cast a magical spell here. So since Jamie's not with us tonight, he did send his info in. I'm going to show his top covers first. Yeah, there we go. So he looks like he went with WandaVision. Looks like probably it's number 3. It looks like number 3. It looks like a adaptation of the show. So, but that's a DNA cover. That's pretty cool.
It says variant edition.
Yeah, variant edition. Yep. The DNA covers are usually variants. He doesn't do too many A covers, I think. Yeah. Fantastic Four number 94. And
I don't even see her on the cover of that.
She's not on the cover of that. I was wondering why he said that, but
she's in that house.
She's in that house.
I mean, that's her first appearance.
Yeah, it is. So she's in the house. She's in one of the windows that's blacked out. So she's there. You just can't really perceive her.
Right.
Thank you, Bougie.
Yes, Bougie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and his last cover here is Scarlet Witch, Contest of Chaos. It looks like Prelude to the Contest of Chaos, but I don't know what number that book is. That's pretty cool cover though. I like that. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to Gary's top covers.
All right. What did I pick? Okay, so as much as I railed against young Agatha, there weren't a whole lot of covers with old Agatha.
True.
So I kind of had to go ahead with some of the young covers. So the one on the left, the Midnight Suns covers by David Nakayama. The Midnight Suns number 5. So just it's a good looking gal, but okay, she's got the streak of gray in her hair. That's fine, but it's not when I think of Agatha, that's not what I think of. So, and you know what? If they were telling stories when she was young, back in the 1600s, sure, the 1700s, sure, but now not so much. Scarlet Witch 6 is a really cool cover. That's Volume 3, Cover B. Lucas Werneck. His name should be Warlock. That would be better, Lucas Warlock. But it's Lucas Werneck. That's a great, picture of Scarlet Witch and her, back to back, throwing spells, warding off evildoers. So I like that quite a bit. And then Fantastic Four 185. There's the Agatha that we all like best, Holden Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's George Perez.
It is.
George Perez and Joe Sinnott was the inker on that. So that was part of the goodness. Perez had a pretty impressive run on FF2 when he was in his younger days there. So, but that's old Agatha. Again, not a great, for cover of the day. I saved an old Agatha on FF110. It was one of the better covers of old Agatha, but there just weren't many of her. So That's why we had to go with some of the young stuff.
That's true. All right, Dan, let's go check out your covers now.
All right, so all the way on the left is a fake cover. The Super Team Family Presents, which is a guy that makes these covers where he, does like a Marvel 2-in-1, Brave and the Bold, Marvel team up kind of thing between a Marvel and a DC character. There's actually like 3 or 4 of them he's done with Agatha Harkness, and this was the one I liked best with her and Zatanna. And he doesn't like, the backgrounds he does, but like the character art on there, he doesn't draw it himself. He takes existing cover, existing art, and I think even the backgrounds usually, and combines it together. So
he does. And Super Team Family was a real DC book that went about 15 issues.
Yeah, well, it didn't go 3,877.
It sure didn't.
But so yeah, that one is pretty cool, and it does kind of make you think, yeah, an Agatha Zatanna crossover would be pretty cool. Oh yeah, you're right about that, Bougie.
Oh yeah, very much.
Yeah, and like Pam said, that's her first
cover
appearance.
Yep.
So then the middle one, I have the Silver Surfer 135. Again, Gary said there's not a lot of covers with old Agatha, but this one I think looks pretty cool. I think the colors pop, especially with the purple and pink of her outfit with the green in the back and the silver on Silver Surfer. I think it's one that really pops. And then my favorite one is the one on the end, Scarlet Witch 13. That one, just that black
that is great.
red.
Yep.
What'd you say, Gary?
That is great. I had not seen that before. That is fantastic.
Yeah, that one is far. That was like one of the first covers I found, and that one is far and away my favorite. I like the again because it's just black, white, and red, so it's that that stripped down, kind of art, and like the way that the cat's just looking straight at you, and I love it. Yeah, I love the style on it, and the way they did the colors in that. That's far and away, I think, in my opinion, her best cover.
Something kind of interesting in that Silver Surfer 135 you're showing.
Mm-hmm.
That volume of Silver Surfer, I'm only missing one issue, and that's the issue I'm missing. So, when 130,
yes, if you've had that issue, you might have remembered about the cover.
Yeah, it's got 145 issues. That's the only one I don't have, and now it's probably a little pricier than it ever would have been. Unfortunately. Not that it should be very expensive, but it's kind of funny. That's the only one I don't have. So
well, that was towards the end of the run too.
It is because 140 something was the end. And the thing is, I'm going to get that issue, and then I'm going to sell the whole run.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm working on. That's one of the runs I'm working on because I loved that book growing up, but I'm nowhere near having all of them. But yeah, because like you said, it only went 146. So
yeah.
All right. So let's show my covers here. Here we go. So I got the Fantastic Four 110. There is the Buscema.
Yeah, first cover. Yep.
Yep. I love that.
Buscema and Sonata.
Yep, it's not. Yep. And then Dan showed me this Scarlet Witch 13. I love that for exactly the same reasons that he just mentioned. So
that is the best.
Awesome.
That is without hands down. That's the best cover of all. Yep.
Yep. And I got the FF 185 here. There you go. Scarlet Witch 13. Yes, yep. That's it. Absolutely. So the FF 185 I kind of like because you got the down below. You got the here there be witches type thing, and you see her all the way in the background. She's holding Franklin, and Franklin's just like saying, "Hey, how you doing?" And meanwhile, the whole Fantastic Four is like knee deep in gargoyles, So
yep, fighting hard. Yep.
So but that Scarlet Witch 13 I think is my favorite.
Yeah, that is the gold medal right there.
Yeah.
So Scarlet Witch 13, that was the cover artist was David Aja, AJA.
Yeah, okay. He's the one that did that Hawkeye series that they heavily borrowed from for the Hawkeye TV show.
Right. Yep.
which was an excellent run too. The one that he did with Matt Fraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an excellent run.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that cover's amazing.
All right. So next up is essential readings, and just because Jamie is not here, we will show his first. There it is. So he went with the Trial of Reed Richards, the Darker Than Scarlet, and the Vision, the Scarlet Witch. Probably that mini series that we've been talking about a lot tonight.
Well, I guess it's this because she wasn't in the first one because it was a
Right.
4-issue miniseries and then it was a
Right.
12-issue series. So
12
that's
issue
the 12-issue one.
Right. Sorry, my bad. The 12 issue one is what I was thinking. All right, so let's go ahead and who's up next here? Gary, got yours ready to go?
All
right. That's true.
Yep, everybody likes that. All right, so we've talked about Fantastic Four 185, 186. That was part of the Salem 7, and her being taken back to the town, New Salem, that she found in Colorado, and dealing with Salem 7. Just fun Perez art in that, and dealing with Nicholas Scratch, her son. So you get a little bit more of her past. Fantastic Four 94, Volume 1, that's her first appearance, and that's when the Frightful Four came a knocking, and she beat the tar out of them. And, one of my favorite parts is at the end where she's messing with Ben and saying, yeah, maybe I'm a witch.
Maybe I'm a witch. Oh, hello.
And Ben, one of the strongest dudes in the world, is chilled to his little rocky hide. He is chilled about this. So, he's very uncomfortable. And then the other one is Avengers 10 and 11, Volume 3. That's the great Busick Perez run. You talk about Perez goodness. This is when he was at the game. And Wonder Man has come back from the dead, and the Scarlet Witch is summoning him when she needs him. And she's trying to figure out how she's manifesting this power. And she goes to Agatha, and Agatha mentors her through this on, where she's bringing Simon from and why Simon is there and why he's not dead. And she gets the witch to realize that it's because of Simon's love for her is what has held his ionic form together in the ether, and that's why he has not been dissipated totally. And she tells Wanda, you have to let go to return that love to him, and you can bring him back into the waking world. And that's what she does. And it's just it's just a wonderful mentorship for her to get there. And this is why she's under duress in battle, because the Grim Reaper is using a mind controlled essence of Simon, and so Wanda's got to get the real Simon back, bring him back into the waking world. And it's just really a wonderful story with great art, fantastic art. And it starts up the Wonder Man Scarlet Witch romance, which makes complete sense because the Vision fell in love with Scarlet Witch, and the Vision was created using the brain patterns of Wonder Man. So of course they would love the same woman. So, and part of the Darker Than Scarlet storyline and the preceding one where the Vision was deconstructed, Wonder Man would not allow his brain patterns to be used to recreate the Vision the way he was, because of that love he had for her, that he loved her and didn't want Vision to come back. So he was very selfish on that. And that was quite a moral conflict. So, but so that's been there for a long time, that Vision, Wonder Man, Wanda triangle.
Yeah.
So, but true. Avengers 10 and 11, where she brought him back into the back to life, was just great Perez work and Busick writing. So that was one of my favorite. That may be my favorite Agatha interaction, was in those two issues.
All right, very good. All right, Dan, I'm going to bring yours up here. There we go. There it is. Agatha's another example of FF being a perfect conduit for the rest of the Lee and Kirby ideas that expanded the MCU. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he a babysitter or a witch? Of course she is. The kid also warps reality. That's true.
And she was introduced in issue 94, so that was right towards the end of their run. They didn't have many issues left together after that.
Now, I want to say 104 was their last joint issue.
Was it 104? I thought it was 102.
Maybe it's 102 then.
I could be wrong. I have to look it up.
It's 102 or 104, and then Lee stayed a little longer, and then he left and left it to Roy Thomas, who went on for a long time.
Yeah. So I had 102, the final continuous Stan Lee and Jack Kirby collaboration on Fantastic Four.
There you go.
There you go.
So I have Fantastic Four 185 and 186. Yep, Pam's.
Yep, sorry. Go ahead.
Yep.
Pam
Correct
says
the Monday, Pam. You win the no prize tonight.
Yep.
Excelsior.
Excelsior.
So, Fantastic Four 185 and 187. At that point, she'd been around almost 100 issues, and this was kind of when, there wasn't a lot known about her. This is when you kind of get her origin, when they kidnap the people from Salem kidnap Franklin Richards and her, and then they're gonna kill her, and the Fantastic Four going to save the day, and then she ends up saving everyone too. So this is when you find out her origins. Fantastic Four Annual 14, kind of talked about that earlier too, when her son Nicholas Scratch comes back, and she has to help the Fantastic Four, and the Avengers appear in it a little bit too. Has to help them defeat her or him. And look, this is, as we're going through these, remember too, like, she is not a character that has ever been a lead character. She has always been a supporting character, at best, a background character a lot. So even this, at least for me, so even the, these stories are like the ones, some of the few I found where she is, a central character to it. So the last one I have is Avengers West Coast 50 to 52. It's really 51 and 52 because she only appears on like one panel in 50, but it's the panel but it's the story, and then that panel that sets up the next two issues with Wanda's kids and Mephisto and Master Pandemonium and all this stuff. So that's when she makes the discovery that the kids aren't real, and goes through all that. So he plays a pretty major role in that story as well.
All right, very cool. So here is mine, and I think I messed up on one of my titles, but Vision and Scarlet Witch 1 through 4. I think I meant the other, not the original series, but the series. This is the series where Agatha is summoned back to New Salem, to pay for her crimes against
the volume 2.
Volume 2. So I forgot to add volume 2 to that. But, yeah, we've already talked about that already, but that was a great series to read.
I was gonna say, Bougie. That was that was the Strange Academy, though. I don't think she was a central character in it for very long.
Yeah.
But the Vision and Scarlet Witch, the second series is good. I remember getting that as a kid. And there was a lot of stuff in that. The Avengers kind of show up, and Magneto and Quicksilver are there, and that's I think one of the first times that they had, because that was after the Invaders series had started, because when Namor first came back in the Silver Age, there was no acknowledgement of his relationship with Captain America from World War II and the Invaders. And it was after the Invaders, it kind of retconned it. So then they had to, have them meet in this story, and, kind of had to explain away why they didn't know each other. And I thought that was pretty funny at the time.
All right. Very cool. All right. So moving on, we got the Fantastic Four 219 to 231. This is the story where you see Scratch escape the negative zone, try to possess Franklin Richards. This was a good storyline to read. You should definitely check that out. And I threw in Strange Academy 7 through 12, Bright Side, because this is where you see a lot of her being the teacher, the role teacher to the students of Doctor Strange's kids in the Strange Academy. I gave this one a read through once, but I did not do it a second time because it's ran out of time. But from what I remember of this was a good story because a lot of the kids are teetering on tragedy, and they go on through some adventures through outer space. They uncover a magical artifact with Rocket and Groot, and then the other one's to Asgard. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that. But from what I remember, it's a good story. It should definitely be checked out.
There we go. That sounds like it.
Yep. All right. So moving on to our next segment is Best Writer and Artist. Uncle Gary, who do you got for that?
Best writer and best artist for
Yeah,
Agatha, who hasn't been in anything.
Yeah, I know.
I
think we're all going to be the same here. I have this feeling.
Yeah, so I'm going to say for a best writer, somebody that does Supernatural pretty good. I'm going to say Tom Mandrake, and I'm sorry, for best writer John Ostrander, and best artist I would like to see Tom Mandrake do the art. So the team that gave me one of my favorite runs ever on Spectre, I would like to see them do Agatha.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. All right, Dan, how about you?
Just kind of by default, for writer, I picked John Byrne because she did appear in quite a few issues of West Coast Avengers, and like I had on the reading list there, it was some pretty major storylines there. So I had him in there, but honestly, she's been. You could say any of the writers of Fantastic Four too, because she's used, pretty much the same around the, the board for the writers that use her, whether it's Stan Lee or Roy Thomas or Steve Englehart or any of them. There's not really a whole lot of differentiation between how they use. And now, the young Agatha is different, but as I said, I don't really care about young Agatha, so I didn't read that stuff. So, I can't really speak to that. But for the old Agatha, there's not really a lot of deviation, between who did them. And for artist, I'll go either with Perez when he was drawing her in Fantastic Four, or John Byrne when she was in West Coast Avengers. But honestly, even that is, she was, drawn pretty similarly across the board again whenever she appeared.
Perez really drew her strongly in Volume 3 of Avengers. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with Gary that
thank you, Pam.
That would be a pretty good combination to see writer.
Yep.
Or
maybe
would
be good too.
Or maybe what's his name? Joe Hill, Stephen King's kid who writes all the horror books. He did was it Lock and Key and Basket Full of Heads and them. He'd probably be able to do something cool with her.
Another artist that could be pretty interesting with her could be Kaluta too.
Yeah.
So okay, so for my choices, I'm actually on par with Dan. I went with Perez and Byrne for mine. Strange Academy was done by Scotty Young, so that wasn't bad. I'll give him a close second on.
Was he doing the writing and not the art?
Yeah, he was doing the writing. Humberto Ramos was doing the illustrating and cover art. Yep. So, so that's I'm going to go with Perez and Byrne, but Ostrander, man, that would be just awesome to see him write Agatha.
I mean, for anybody that hasn't read it, I believe it was 62 issues plus a 0 issue in an annual. That Ostrander Mandrake run of Spectre was phenomenal, and DC has only collected it in 2 trades, two trades at the beginning of the run. That is a book that needs to be out in an omnibus or in a compendium like they did with the Starman series. It needs to be collected because it is magnificent.
Yep, I totally agree. With that.
Yeah, I'll say Steve Epting could probably do a pretty good job drawing her too. Yeah, I think whoever would draw her would need something like a dark, gritty kind of style, or like maybe Lieber Majo if he would do enough interior work.
Kyle Hotz would be interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head who I would like to see draw her. I don't know. That's something to think on as my lights go spooky out.
Mm-hmm.
So, look at that. Look at that.
It was Agatha all along.
It was Agatha all along. All right. So final comments. Do we have any final comments from the chat? Anybody in the chat?
Magnolia would be interesting. Yeah,
that would be a good one.
Yeah,
I agree with that. That would be cool.
An Agatha Hellboy team up.
You know, it would be a really interesting a DC Marvel crossover. Agatha and Ebony with Clarion and Teakle.
Yeah. Or with I think she would be more along the lines of having a good crossover with Phantom Stranger.
Well, no, that would be good too, but it's just another witch with a cat. So, but yeah, Phantom Stranger is always good with whatever he's in.
Clarion is such a little shit.
Yeah, he's a little shit. Absolutely.
All right.
Real quick, I say there's this character that DC hasn't used in years, but there was a character named The Secret that was part of Young Justice.
Yes.
That was
Yep.
That was a girl that, and it was one where they slowly revealed her origin over time, and the gist of it was that she was a girl that was, a young girl that was killed, came back as a ghost, and it would be cool to see, Agatha take, her or like someone like that under her wing too. That would be kind of an interesting story.
Yeah. I just wish that Marvel could support or have a longevity on a supernatural run, because that would be like a complete wheelhouse there. If we could get a story that would support, a good 12-issue, maybe a 15-issue series, that would be great.
Well,
I'll give Marvel credit. Really they've tried to in the past, with the Midnight Suns and stuff, but it just, for whatever reason, whether it's quality or lack of interest, it just never catches on. Not for anything long term anymore.
The last couple iterations of Ghost Rider I've enjoyed,
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. All right, folks. I guess we could go ahead and put this one to bed. Call it a wrap. Call it a night. Call it what it is. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you seeing here, making comments, making us laugh too. All good stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm your host, Sal the Slab Guy. To the right of me here, or this side of me, is Dan the Man Kelly from Instagram. And down below is the curator of comics, the Ric Flair himself,
Woo!
Uncle Gary. All right, so like we said in the pre-show, folks, there will be no podcast, no character of the week, and no real Comics Unleashed for Saturday because of Comic-Con coming up.
Next week, this Saturday there will be.
This Saturday there will be, but I'm talking next week. Next week. Oh, wait a minute. I think they should run with Supernatural Academy, Strange Academy, kind of thing with her. Yep, I totally agree with that, Bougie. Totally.
You know who they should have gotten to play her in live action who would have been perfect is, what was her name? Vanessa Redgrave.
I'd go with that. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
She's been in a bunch of stuff, but she was McGonagall in the Harry Potter movies.
That's right. Ah, very good. Very good.
She's like her, and she's already played a witch.
Also true. Yep. So, folks, there is a Comic Unleashed show this week, but next week there will not be. There's a possibility of a Friday show, but there's definitely going to be a Monday live stream from Comic Logic.
Thank you, Pam.
Nice pre-spooky season.
Oh, for you spooky season aficionados.
Yes.
We will have a special Halloween episode of Comics Unleashed where we will each pick favorite covers. So I think what we're doing now is we'll get a bunch of us, and what's Sal? We're each going to pick our 9 great spooky covers. Yep. And then we'll go in rounds and we'll show all these covers. So if you want to see some really cool Halloween goodness, it's going to be one of the Saturdays right before Halloween. So stay tuned for that.
Yep. No, Sapphire, there is shows this week. Saturdays, yes.
Yeah.
I was talking about next week.
Yeah.
Because of the Baltimore Comic-Con. All right, folks, this has been an episode of the Comic Character of the Week, Agatha Harkness. I'm Sal the Slab Guy. I think we're already gone through this, so I'm going to skip it and say Good night, folks. We'll see